Please rise. Who is it that gives this bride away?
Her mother and I did.
Very well. You can have a seat. Good afternoon. My name is Judge Raymond Kostrava, and it's my honor to officiate this joyous occasion. Peyton Aaron Spencer and Rebecca Page Johns, we are gathered here together in the presence of God and these witnesses for the purpose of joining you in marriage. Marriage is a very serious matter, and it is therefore not only a happy occasion but a solemn one. It is significant mainly as a promise of what is to be. Marriage is not something that can be performed for you, but it is a unity that you must work out for yourselves. Marriage gets its meaning from what you put into it. Therefore, marriage is a creative venture, which can be as fine and rewarding as you decide to make it. One of the purposes of marriage is the enrichment of each other. This is possible only when each recognizes the needs of the other and wishes to help the other grow. It involves assuming responsibilities and a willingness to sacrifice and help each other. In marriage, it must be understood that each of you places the other first. That means even ahead of the families of which you've been a part. Other than the relationship you have with God, it should be the most important relationship you have. This union then is most serious because it will bind you together for a life in a relationship so close and so intimate that it will profoundly influence your entire future. A future with hopes and disappointments and successes and failures, pleasures and pains, with joys and sorrows. We all know these elements are mingled in every marriage, and they're to be expected in yours. And this is the spot where Peyton and Rebecca have asked me to deviate a little bit from the script, and don't be afraid, I'll be brief. I know when a judge says he'll be brief, people get very concerned, but I promise to be brief. First, it's my honor to be a part of this wedding. I've been truly blessed in my life in many, many ways, and one of those blessings is sitting right back there. Her name is Linnea. So as I told Rebecca and Peyton, one of the greatest gifts in life is marriage. It has been for me. And to stand here right now and serve these two people right here, it's a joy and a gift to me. And second, Peyton and Rebecca have asked me to share with you scripture reading. I'm certainly happy to do that. I am no biblical scholar. So I'll do my best. And they asked me to read to you from 1 John chapter 4, starting at verse 16. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world we are like Jesus. There is no fear in love, Perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. We love because he loved us first. Just a few quick comments on that. That beautiful scripture talks about love and talks about knowing God. There's a big difference between knowing about God and really knowing God. To truly know God means that you have a relationship with God. And it talks about true love. True love in a very different sense from the emotional or worldly love that we often kind of feel. True love in this sense means the giving of oneself to the other for the benefit of the other without expecting anything in return. That's true love. So my sincere hope for both you, Peyton, and you, Rebecca, is that you know God and experience true love in your marriage. And so, not knowing what is before you, you accept each other for better or for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live. And therefore, I'm going to ask you, Peyton, a couple questions. Peyton, Aaron, I ask you, do you solemnly declare and accept Rebecca Page as your wife?
I do.
And do you promise you will love her?
I do.
And maintain her?
I do.
And live with her?
Yes.
In the holy bonds of marriage and never forsake her?
Yes.
For as long as you both shall live?
Yes.
Great answers. And therefore, Rebecca Page, I ask you, do you solemnly declare and accept Peyton Aaron as your husband? And do you promise you'll love him?
Yes.
And maintain him?
Yes.
And live with him in the holy bonds of marriage?
Yes.
And never forsake him?
Yes.
For as long as you both shall live?
Yes.
You got the answers right. And Rebecca and Peyton have prepared their own vows to each other. And so they put their own personal touch on what they want to commit to each other when they enter this covenant. So I'll ask you, Peyton.
Rebecca, you are my best friend, my rock, and my peace. You've helped me grow into the man I am today. You have seen me on my best days and my worst, and you continue to stay by my side, and for that I will always be grateful. I promise to be with you through thick and thin. I promise to be faithful to you. I promise to be your protector. I promise that when things get tough, I will always be by your side. I promise that you will be mine until the end of my life.
And Rebecca? They both wrote them down. Very smart.
Peyton, I promise to always love you, support you, and to be by your side for the rest of my life. I will never let you forget how important you are and just how much you mean to me. I have prayed my whole life to find that perfect guy, and I was scared I was never going to find him until you came back into my life. You have shown me what true love is supposed to be like, and you have loved me for who I truly am and never once expected me to change. You've brought constant smiles, laughter, and so much happiness into my life, and I never knew what it was like to be appreciated and loved until you came along. I'm forever grateful for everything that you've done for me. When I first met you 7 years ago at that youth group, I never would have thought this is where we were going to end up. But now I can't imagine my life being any different. I love your goofiness and your ability to always make me laugh. I love that you always tell me how beautiful you think I am, no matter how bad I think I look. And I love that you love me for me. I promise to always be the best wife I can be and to make sure you always know how loved and appreciated you are. I thank God every day for letting our paths cross again. You are my best friend and my rock. I'm so excited to keep doing life with you by my side. I love you so much.
Beautiful. Beautiful words. Now, Peyton and Rebecca have elected to perform for us what's known as the sand ceremony. It's on the table right behind the gentleman. So we're going to go over that way, and we're going to begin that at this time. And while they're doing this, that's all right, little fella. You're right in the right spot. So while Peyton and Rebecca join together in this ceremony, I'm going to share a few words with you about this. Peyton and Rebecca, you are sealing your relationship. And with this covenant, there's a relationship pledge between two people who agree they will commit themselves to one another throughout their lives. The most beautiful example of this partnership is the marriage relationship. You have committed here today to share the rest of your lives with each other. Today, this relationship is symbolized through the pouring of these two individual containers of sand, one representing you, Peyton, and all that you were and all that you are and all that you'll ever be, and the other one representing you, Rebecca, and all that you were and all that you are and all that you'll ever be. These two containers of sand are poured into a third container, and as the individual containers of sand will no longer exist, they'll be joined together as one. And just as the grains of sand are never separated and never poured again into the individual containers, so will your marriage be. And each leaving a little bit of sand in the individual container, this symbolizes that you're now joined as one, but you also remain as individuals. What a beautiful commitment to each other. And this afternoon, Rebecca and Peyton have brought with them some hardware, some rings. So if I could have Peyton present this ring to the left hand on the third finger of Rebecca. And Peyton, I'm going to ask that you repeat after me. Rebecca, I give you this ring.
Rebecca, I give you this ring.
To be a visible outward sign.
To be a visible outward sign.
That I accept you as my wife.
That I accept you as my wife.
I pledge to share my life openly with you.
I pledge to share my life openly with you.
And always speak the truth to you.
And always speak the truth to you.
I promise to honor you.
I promise to honor you.
And care for you.
And care for you.
And never forsake you.
And never forsake you.
Through all the days of our lives.
Through all the days of our lives.
For as long as we both shall live.
For as long as we both shall live.
And Rebecca, I'm going to ask you to take that ring and put it on the third finger of the left hand of Peyton and repeat after me. Peyton, I give you this ring.
Peyton, I give you this ring.
To be a visible outward sign.
To be a visible outward sign.
That I accept you as my husband.
That I accept you as my husband.
I pledge to share my life openly with you.
I pledge to share my life openly with you.
And always speak the truth to you.
And always speak the truth to you.
And I promise to honor you.
And I promise to honor you.
And care for you.
And care for you.
And never forsake you.
And never forsake you.
Through all the days of our lives.
Through all the days of our lives.
And for as long as we both shall live.
And for as long as we both shall live.
Now each of you, having given your vows to the other by the virtue of the authority vested in me as judge in the state of Michigan, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. Here you go. give them a round of applause. So Rebecca and Peyton have elected to act as ushers here and servants to us this afternoon and excuse everybody one row at a time. So that's the way it'll go. The reception is immediately following inside the church. We're all welcome to go inside. We'll begin at 5. There'll be out here, and then the reception begins at 5. So everybody feel welcome to go inside after you're excused.